Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fantastic, fabulous, and diode-y. I don't know, we have to think of a good adjective for each show.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like integrated. It's a good integrated circuit show. I'm Lady Ada, I'm the engineer. With me is Phil on camera control.
Hello.
I'm doing all the typing in the IRC channel. Good work, Phil.
And Twitter and Google+.
And
Plus.
the tweeters and the
all
Facebooks,
sorts of places.
MySpaces and all those Napsters.
Yeah.
We got some fun stuff today on the show.
That's right.
Why don't you tell them on today's show?
On today's show, we're going to be talking about the show and tell that we just did. Fantastic group of people, really cool projects, and more. It was Ada Lovelace Day this week in the world. We'll be going over that, celebrating...
Yeah, that was a Tuesday, right?
It was on Tuesday. Celebrating amazing people and technology. A little bit of Arduino news. Got Packet to Mailbag, letters from you, our community and customers. Some open source hardware news. We're going to do a little tour of the show. It's going to be fun, a little news segment. Yep. We got some stuff from the Adafruit learning system. Got Wearable Wednesday. We got some electronic Halloween.
Woo.
Yeah. We got 3D Thursday. We got Pi Day. We've got new products. We're going to answer your questions. We have a trivia question. All that and more.
Wait, we have a close-up picture of a cat, too.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
All that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Cat not... We took that nice photo of the cat.
Yeah, we have a cat photo.
We have a nice new photo.
Okay, let's first start off and pay some bills. The first thing is, the code is, how do you think you pronounce this?
Ket.
Ket. K-H-E-T. 10% off in the Adafruit store. Everything in stock, including the Ket laser game.
Yeah.
So 10% off. As always, we do now have the MakerBots back in stock and the digitizers. If you're ever thinking of getting those, you get 10% off. You get, if you're in the US, free UPS ground shipping. And with the MakerBot, you get a Raspberry Pi. And then with the digitizer, you would get a free Raspberry Pi. So this is a kind of a bad deal for us.
Yeah.
But if you're watching the show, that's great. And we really appreciate you watching the show.
If you want a digitizer or a MakerBot, now is a good time to get one.
Again, the code is KET, 10% off in the Adafruit store, everything that's in stock. Okay, first up, as seen on the show and tell, Lady Ada, what was on the show and tell tonight?
Okay, just find list. Okay, so first up we had Tony DeCola show up, and he had his CC3000 server project. So he's working with the CC3000 module to add WebSockets support. So he's got like a basic web server. Somehow he got that working. But now he's trying to add WebSockets as a layer on top of that. Dustin came by and he's making LED goggles. Everybody loves making LED goggles. Great for Halloween, great for work, bar mitzvahs, funerals, I don't know. These LED goggles are powered with an Arduino and a Wiimote, so we can use like the Wii remote to change like the color and the effects on the eyes. So that's so cool. And he's working on a second pair. It's going to be even better. Because like once you have one pair of LED goggles, you need another. Like you start building them. John W. came back with a cool project. He saw our Firewalker shoes that Becky and Phil B worked on, and he was like, I totally need a pair of Vans like that. He got some cool Vans. He got some LED strip. He glued the LED strip on. But he's adapting the code. He's not just using the Firewalker design. He's adapting it to use a microphone and maybe Wi-Fi, so you can like tweet your shoes, or like it does audio effects, and it'll have like a remote control so you can like change the design. I don't know, it's a pretty intense update to the Firewalker project, so I can't wait to see that as it wraps up. And then Noah showed up, and he's learning electronics, doing programming, and he got one of our 2.2-inch TFT displays, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna write Pong. And so he wrote Pong in 150 lines of code, and he said it was like super easy and fun. He also made a little Etch-a-Sketch. So yeah, it's, good stuff.
These are good projects. Everybody who's on the show and tell gets a As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. These are in projects around the world now, and it's really neat to see them, especially when we go places.
We got these nice vinyl stickers, and you want them. So show
Lady
your
Ada,
project.
How do people get on the show and tell?
If you'd like to show a project on a future show and tell, just go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit, and then find the post where I say comment here to get added to the show and tell circle. And then when you get added, you'll be able to show your project that week or future weeks. And it's always fun to also, if you tell us what you're going to be showing, that's a bonus. You don't have to, but kind of nice to know what we're expecting, so we can kind of schedule people up. And that's pretty much it. Super easy. Every week, Saturday, 9:30 p.m. We're here. It was right before this.
Yeah, we're always here. Okay, moving right along. This week it was Ada Lovelace Day, October 15th this year. It's a worldwide celebration.
I want to put like my hair up in a bun like that.
Yeah, you can. A worldwide celebration of women in tech. And
hackers named Lady Ada.
yeah.
No, not really.
Well, on our site, what we do every year is we have at least 24 posts a day celebrating women in technology, ones that folks know, and a lot of them that people don't.
Yeah.
And so
we try not to even have repeats.
Yeah, we try not to.
I don't think we have. Maybe once or twice, we're like, hey, this person's so cool, we gotta put
Yeah, and we
have
did
new people every year.
We did discount code if someone's interested in getting someone important to them, interested in electronics and more. So the other thing we added this year, which is already outdated, is we had a photo of some of the ladies from Adafruit. Now this photo is wrong. There's already
two more.
There's three more that aren't pictured here.
Oh yeah, Alyssa's not there.
Yeah. And Alex and also
Alex
Mary. So
and
it's
Mary.
like, yeah, so this photo's
Okay.
already outdated because Adafruit is
Zomg.
growing that fast. Out of
Wait, no, there's 4 people missing.
Yeah, I know.
Four
Yeah,
women that are not there.
Yeah, so that's how
Yeesh.
fast things move right now. So in the post that we have, was there anyone in particular, either from this year or last year or any of the other years, that you're inspired by?
I totally love Liz from the Raspberry Pi Foundation.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because she's just like so hardcore, and I like that she's like, I don't want to say like unapologetic, because like what is there to apologize for? But she's just like, here's how I do stuff, and this is how it is, and it's
Yeah.
working out. So don't tell me that it's not. You know,
Yeah.
she's just like,
I think introducing...
she's really good at what she does, and it's shocking. People are like, they're like, how do you manage to do all this stuff? And she's just like, it's easy. I can do it.
Yeah, I think introducing a low-cost Linux computer to a huge group of people,
There's like 2 million of these out there,
about 2 million.
and she manages the entire community.
Yeah, requires a lot of effort, and so she does it really well. I have one that I think that Helen, who was the founder and CEO of iRobot, is one of the coolest women in tech. When they went public, they had the bell at NASDAQ rang by one of their robots. And she's working on a top secret startup, Cyworks, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But she's one of the most amazing people in the world that...
Look at her. She's got this like killer robot.
Yeah, that I think they always talk about, oh, like there's not enough women CEOs and everything, but she was the founder and CEO of iRobot, known for their military bots that do bomb diffusion, and then their consumer bots for their
the Roomba
Roombas,
and
and
like
they got
Scuba.
Yeah, and definitely someone to check out and celebrate. So that's my pick for a Lovelace Day.
Okay.
Next up, some news on Arduino. This one is just a news story. There was an article about open source hardware and Arduino, and this was a quote from Massimo. They had asked, why is openness important in hardware? And Massimo said, because open hardware platforms become the platform where people start to develop their own products. Bonzi told Ars Technica. For us, it's important that people can prototype on the BeagleBone or similar product or the Arduino, and if they decide to make a product out of it, they can go and buy the processors and use our design and start as a starting point and make their own products out of it.
For making more companies, this is really key. I know easily like 24 successful companies that have created products and they prototype them on Arduino. Absolutely, and oftentimes they'll even show like, here's our first prototype, and I'm like, hey, that's like a mini, or like that's a micro or a nano or an Arduino or whatever. And they start that way. Yeah.
Next up, pack in the mailbag. Letters from you, our customers, community, and more. We get letters, lots and lots of letters. This week's letter.
This gigantic bag full of letters.
Yeah. This customer wrote in, I got my wave shield tonight and put it together in a few hours. It's been a long time since I did any soldering, but the web tutorial was great. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for doing this. It brought me a lot of joy, and the fun's only just begun. Thank you so much. All right. Next up. News in the world of open source hardware. Every week we try to, if there's something that's really interesting that's come out in the news involving open source hardware, we try to cover it. This one I think is really interesting. It is a job posting on the Adafruit jobs board, and I'll tell you why this is interesting, because this is Tembu, and they're the ones who run all of the behind the scenes stuff, the server stuff that works with the new Arduino Yun. and they used our jobs board and they posted up for a lead server engineer. They're looking for a lead backend developer with experience architecting scalable Java systems. So if you are an engineer and you wanted to do some like server stuff,
and you like
our-
wireless sensors,
yeah,
stuff.
and you
'Cause
like-
you'll do a lot of
Yeah.
testing with wireless sensors, I'm sure.
and you like Arduino, that sounds like a dream job. So that's on the Adafruit jobs board. Adafruit jobs board is free for everyone. We approve all of them, and there's only makers that can post and only companies that are looking for makers. We screen them all and we make sure there's no weird headhunters or scammy things. It's all
No,
just,
it's all like for real, 100% maker companies, maker friendly.
Yeah.
You'll never see anything like really creepy.
Yeah.
Trust me, we get creepy job postings. And
Yeah.
we delete them.
yeah.
So you don't have to.
So next up, we have some new changes on the show. First off, we've got mugs. So yeah, check us out. We're like a morning talk show host now.
How about that weather?
It's lots of transitioners out there in Thief River Falls.
Yeah.
See, that's where DigiKey is. That's why it's funny.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have these mugs because our staff kept saying, you know, you guys shouldn't just have like a bottle and you should get a straw and everything. So Colin got these mugs for us.
Yeah,
Colin
these are nice.
Cunningham.
And I took one home.
Yeah. So now we have this. So now you can, you know.
When I'm thinking about how to take over the world, I drink from this mug.
Yeah. I've got a big cup of blood. That's one change. The other change is we have an HDMI monitor above the camera.
I'm looking
And
at
it's
it
the
now.
one that we sell. And we've upgraded some sound that a lot of people have known
Yeah.
recently. We have the overhead projector. And soon we're going to be broadcasting in an amazing HDMI camera instead of using a web camera. So that'll be coming
Not this
up
free
soon.
webcam that we got from a conference
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah,
Which
so
has served us quite well.
It's HD, but
And it was free.
We're going to even push the boundaries more. And so we did make a quick video right before the show about how the show is made. So
All right.
let's go to the video.
Let's see this thing.
Hey, lady, I'm going to give everybody a tour of the Ask an Engineer area.
Awesome. Let's go check it out.
All right. Well, we got a couple stools, and
Return.
yeah, they turn. And then the main thing is I use a MacBook Pro. It's connected to a couple webcams. Been using these for a bit. And then this is the overhead. This is an Elmo. It actually has a camera in it, but we wanted to do HD. That's where we have all of our overhead demos and such. And then we have a 3.0 hub from Belkin, and then we have a Alesis Multimix 8.
I just want to equalize everything.
You want to equalize everything. I have a couple mugs now because
Yeah.
we're not
Check this out.
drinking out of cans or
Fancy.
bottles. And then we have the
Fancy.
Sennheiser wireless mics. That was a big upgrade that we did. And
Turbo
then
batteries.
yeah, and then over here we have another computer, and this is for IRC
Yeah.
and for controlling things. I do a sound check that no one can hear, and then if we have guests, we have a wireless mic over here. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, not too bad. And then back here we have Circuit Playground. We have one more on the cover of Wired. We have some other things.
Store Adabot and pals.
Yeah, then we have a couple lights. And that's the Ask an Engineer setup. It'll be changing soon, so I thought it'd be good to do a little bit of recording. Okay.
Now you see what we see.
Yeah, so that's how we make the show. And as we upgrade everything, we'll continue to talk about how we do all this stuff. But it's hard to show that while you're on the show, so I said, oh, I'll use this camera real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. Less stuff on Learning System this week. Boy,
Yeah, we had a bunch of tutorials.
yeah, the Learning System is full of cool stuff.
It's full.
First one up.
Delete
Laydata.
something.
What is this?
This is Tony DiCola's Raspberry Pi and Raspberry Pi camera face tracker, which is kind of neat. So it uses a Raspberry Pi, which you can kind of see down there, and then there's a Raspberry Pi camera attached to it as well. And he's using OpenCV, which has been ported over to the Raspberry Pi. It works pretty well. And OpenCV is a computer vision software that allows you to like recognize shapes and faces and stuff. One of the most popular things is to detect faces because like they've kind of figured that out a little bit. So what it does is it looks for the closest face to the Raspberry Pi, and then it has this rendered skull, which is like creepy skull, and the skull will turn to face the face. So if you walk into the room and you walk back and forth, it'll follow you. So it's like super creepy. And then he made it's a monitor, and then he made a really nice kind of ornate frame for it. So yeah, creepy skull.
Okay. Next
Super
up.
creepy.
This one is 3D Modeling Negatives. This one is from Rick Winscott. And this is how, if you ever wanted to do 3D printing stuff, and how you would be able to do that using calipers, so you can measure stuff. And
Yeah, because like for example, he wanted to make this robot, and we have this really nice ball caster, and the ball caster is made out of metal, so it means it can support a lot of weight. And it's really nice and smooth. This is a really sweet ball caster, by the way. But he wanted to use this in a 3D printed project, and so to do that, it's best to have a 3D model of the item. And so he shows you basically how to do a measure and model an item, and then you can make a negative of it so that it can fit. It fits inside of your existing project. So he made a robot, and this kind of like snaps into place. And so this is how, if you make one model of it, that makes it really easy for you to like integrate it, either positive or negative, into your CAD models.
Yeah.
So it's a good skill to have. It's kind of like the equivalent of making footprints in Eagle CAD. It's like when you want to add a new item, you have to make a footprint for it, and all the schematic symbols. This is the same thing, but for CAD.
Okay, next up, this one's really exciting. This is how to use the Adafruit CC3000 with Xively.
Xively.
And this is...
Or Xively.
Or used to be Patch Bay, then it was Cosm, and now Xively.
Xively.
Yeah, so this shows you how to do that, do data logging, do all sorts of cool stuff, publishing graphs.
This is the most basic version of Xively tutorial with the CC3000, but it works really well. One thing I like about the CC3000 is I like to mention, like, I have a box of Wi-Fi modules. Like, I spent like $2,000 on eval kits for like every kind of Wi-Fi module out there.
We have every single...
And I can't get that money back.
Expensive, badly documented, non-functional Wi-Fi module.
Don't get me wrong, the CC3000 is also badly documented, but at least it gets everything else right.
Yeah.
So the nice thing is it's very stable. So it means it's quite good for doing like long-term logging. Like it's not as flaky as some other modules I found, and because it's SPI, like you don't have to worry about like weird states and stuff. So anyways, we have the code that does HTTP connections. Like I already wrote that. That's kind of the demo thing that you do. So this project, I remember his website. What's his name again?
It's home automation.
I know, that's right. It's called homeautomation.com.
But if you just Google for CC3000 and home automation, you'll see. Marco.
Marco.
Yeah. Okay,
sorry. He wrote a really cool tutorial, and this uses the CC3000, so you can use the Shield or the Breakout, and it's with Arduino, but again, you can port it to your other microcontroller because it's SPI. It's really easy to do so. And it uses a temperature and humidity sensor, so there's two sensing things that you're doing, temperature and humidity, and sends it to the Xively service. And what's nice about this is because a lot of people are doing sensing and they're behind a firewall because they're at work or at home, and so their router, you can't connect through the router to your Arduino. This sends data out to a service that logs it and makes these like beautiful little graphs you can see here, and you can also set it up to like tweet or email you when it like reaches a threshold or whatever. So this is a good base for any kind of Internet of Things sensing project where you want to have your Arduino or other microcontroller send Internet of Things type sensor data and then do something with it. Xively is a free service.
Okay. Next up. This one is also from Rick. This is the tutorial that went along with how do you make 3D printed parts of things. So this is make your own Adabot. You don't have to use a 3D printer. Yeah, you don't have to use a 3D printer. You can use other things. Yeah, but it's nice.
You don't have to use a 3D printer, but it's kind of like, it's best if you do have a 3D printer because that's what the files are up in. So yeah, you can make your own little miniature Adabot using the blue, light blue and dark blue filament. And I think he's using a MakerBot replicator to print these out. And this is part one.
Yep.
So there's a couple parts, so tune in
Yep.
as they get uploaded. They're very detailed tutorials, lots of photos. You'll need a bunch of tools, and this is these are detailed projects, but if you want to kind of have a challenge with your 3D printer after you're done making a chess set or something, check this out.
Okay, next up, last one for the week. This is the random spooky LED eyes.
Yes.
So if you want to make little spooky eyes with electronics from Adafruit, this is how you do it.
Check out the animated GIF, because the animated GIF it shows it a little bit better. But this is what I like about this project is it's a no solder, like super easy Arduino beginner project. This is like, OMG, it's Halloween next week. I don't have anything for decoration, and I want to do something. You can use these LED pixels we have in the store, and they're weatherproof. So, I mean, don't dump them underwater, but like you can leave them outside, and it's totally fine. And what you can do is you can put them in the bushes, and then it'll blink 2 of them at a time, as if they're little eyes. So it looks like these little spooky eyes are kind of like blinking, and then like they fade out, and then it looks like there's like 10 or 15 like little monsters or something hiding in your bushes. So it's really good if you have like a dark area, like a shrubbery or something in your lawn. We don't have lawns here in New York, but most people do. So check that out. It's a really easy project. Again, like you don't even need to solder. You can just use some wire to connect the Arduino to the LEDs.
Okay. And next up, Wearable Wednesday. Every Wednesday, everything in the world of wearable electronics. Don't forget, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Sorry. I'm not doing that.
Every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. And tune in. It's also recorded. If you can't get enough of wearables on Ask an Engineer, we have a whole show devoted to it. This week, we have a couple projects. This is LED wire helmets. And these are really cool because they look like a Triceratops. They look like a bunny. And we have a video.
If you're looking for an easy, fun, and glowing Halloween costume this year, hang out with us for a few minutes and we'll show you how to make these EL wire animal masks on a bike helmet. We were inspired by Tom Newsom's Glownimals project in the UK, which he exhibited at the Elephant and Castle Mini Maker Fair earlier this summer. Plain wire supports the glowing design, and because the helmet straps securely to your head, you have a lot of freedom to design whatever character you want. The finished mask isn't as safe as a regular bike helmet, so ride carefully or just go to that party on foot. We're using 19-gauge galvanized steel wire to create the basic shape from our sketches. Wrap the wire around the helmet and twist it tightly with a pair of heavy pliers. Use more wire to support heavy or long parts of the design. Doubling the wire over and twisting creates more stability. Wrap any pointy wire bits with masking or gaff tape so you don't stab anybody, then it's onto the electronics. Figure out where your inverter battery pack will go, then secure it in place with some Velcro tape. Plug in your first strand of EL wire and start attaching it to the wire frame by wrapping clear thread around both wires. Twist ties or little bits of solid wire come in handy to hold the wire in place as you go. You can create broken lines in your design by adding pieces of heat shrink tubing wherever you don't want the EL to glow. If you do need to cut and solder EL wire to complete your design, we've got a tutorial for you on the Adafruit Learning System. Then use a flexible measuring tape to estimate how much EL wire your design uses, and double check your inverter's specs. This 4x AAA inverter can power 3 to 4 meters of EL wire for about 7 hours. While clear thread creates an instant connection, for rocking out all night, you'll want to glue the wires together every couple of inches using E6000 craft adhesive, which takes about a day to dry. EL inverters make a high-pitched sound that you may find annoying. A bit of hot glue on the capacitors inside will help dampen the noise, or, just stick it in your pocket so it's not near your ears. These masks look great in a group, and they're a blast to make with friends. So share yours with us on our weekly show and tell on Google+. Tag your project's Electronic Halloween and subscribe for more costume ideas from Adafruit.
Okay, and we're back.
Hello.
I'm the rabbit.
It's bright in here, but these actually are super bright.
Yeah, you can still see it even though all of our lights are on in the studio here.
Hello. Yeah, these look really cool at night. I saw them modeling these in the office while it was dark and outside, and it looks really, really cool. Especially if you have like 2 or 3 people and they all have like animals or something, maybe a similar theme.
Yeah.
That can definitely be fun. And it's just easy because you wear as a helmet, and then you can just take it off when you're done and recycle the EL wire even.
Yeah.
Mr. Rabbit.
Yeah. My name's Frank the Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Josie the Triceratops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cellar door. Okay.
I hope we don't die in a plane crash.
No.
Okay.
Next up, we have another cool project. This is from the Ruiz brothers at Pixel 3D. They did a really cool 3D printed project, and that means we have another video.
Okay.
So here we go.
Check it out.
Here's a stylish weekend project, a 3D printed LED belt buckle, powered by Gemma, Adafruit's wearable electronics platform. This awesome LED buckle is a 6-piece design that uses Gemma and 3 neopixels to illuminate the 3D printed cover. You can grab the files from Thingiverse. The complete circuit easily fits inside the buckle cover and uses a small LiPo battery that lasts over 8 hours. You should use transparent PLA for the diffuser. The small lid cover easily snaps on and the buckle hinges clip onto your belt for easy access and a secure fit. You can follow our complete guide for this project on Adafruit's learning system. What awesome buckle design will you come up with? Share your project and let us know by using hashtag #LEDBuckle and subscribe for more wearable electronic projects from Adafruit.
All right, so
I love fashion pants.
yeah, so that's the first of many videos that you'll
My
probably
belt
see.
buckle does not light up at all.
That's the first of many videos that you'll probably see from the Ruiz brothers. They're doing some cool projects with us. Next up, Electronic Halloween all this month. We have a post every single day. Here's a couple of just a sampling of the projects that have been coming in. LEDs inside of helmets. This is kind of like a
It's
biker,
like half Daft
Daft
Punk,
Punk, yeah.
half biker, half raver.
Yeah. To some
Parade.
more subtle. I tried to keep it in the wearables category. And then
Yeah.
this one was kind of neat. This is that Deathmouth 5 that did
Yeah, it's Dead Mouse Disco.
yeah. And then you can make it out of disco ball and then those LEDs light up. And then you just have your regular electronic project. So this is cool.
Diode pumpkin.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Next up, 3D Thursday. All the news that's fit to 3D print.
Yeah.
This week in the world of 3D, this is kind of neat. MakerBot announced glow-in-the-dark filament.
Okay.
So it actually glows.
So this
You can
is
3D print.
This is PLA. So this is the easy to use
Yeah.
filament,
Isn't that cool?
and it's glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty neat stuff. The other
Spooky.
the other bit of news in the world of 3D printing is Thingiverse announced an iOS app. So I downloaded it, logged in through our Adafruit account, and I saw all of our stuff. And the other cool feature is you can search for other models and things, and then you can take a photo and put that into your Thingiverse models. So that was kind of neat. I'm playing around with that more, but if you're
Yeah, maybe future replicators will have like iPhone tie capability.
probably
That'd be
they're
cool.
Probably working on it. All through the month of October, we've been doing a partnership with Google. It's called Make the World. On Friday, we had Joel Gibbard from the Open Hand Project and Alton Harding from Hands for Africa, and it was a really fantastic night. It was half an hour. We're doing these every Friday night at 8 p.m. The last one is next week, and this one was all about the Open Hand Project, which is a crowd-funded robotic hand that
I love playing with this thing.
well, this is different though. This is,
I know, but this is like
Yeah.
this is the 3D printed version, but there's probably going to be
yeah.
people working on 3D printing and robotics and education and all this stuff. What I
Yeah.
like is every week we have a different group of people.
And then Alton was doing the Hands for Africa project where people lost their limbs in the blood diamond conflicts and getting them prosthetics. So this was something that was really important to us that we wanted to do. And please tune in and also look in the Adafruit Google Plus community, makers, hackers, artists, and engineers in the Pound Make the World section, and you'll be able to help and contribute. If you have a 3D printer and you want to print out 3D parts for someone who wants to get a prosthetic hand, you can actually do that. So far, I think we've hooked up like 30 kids with prosthetic hands using a 3D printer. The different things that you can do, one is, first,
yeah.
go to Google Plus and tell everybody about it. The second one is you can join the eNable community. If you need a robot hand, you can request one. And then last up is if you're building one, you can share your progress with others. So do check that out. Pi Day, every Friday we
It's
have Pi
Pi
Day.
Day.
Yeah, we have all the posts that are going on online about
All
Raspberry Pi.
Pi,
Yeah,
all day.
it's getting hard to figure out which ones to talk about during the show. So I picked 3 of my favorites this week. This
Okay.
one I like. This is a you know those like Cisco IP phones?
I know these are like in the middle of every conference room.
Yeah.
It's always like, can you speak up, Bob?
Yeah.
It's the quarterly results call. Anyways.
Yeah, so this is a 3D printed Raspberry Pi conference call machine that uses VoIP, so very cool. The person who's going to do it, who did it, they're going to be working on a learning guide hopefully soon on Adafruit. This one is a Raspberry Pi, a low-cost security camera. So you can just mount this somewhere, and it just uses a Raspberry Pi, the Pi camera, and then it's in all the same housing as a security camera, and you can use this as a security system. Very cool. And then last up, this cute little bot. uses our
I
case.
know. It's
Yeah.
cute. Look
Yeah.
at that. It's a little bitty
Meep, meep.
Pokemon. Meep, meep.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cute.
So, so that's kind of cool. Before we move on to new product, don't forget the code is CAT.
Get.
CAT, 10% off everything in store. Okay, we're gonna do this. Lady Ada, it is new product time. You can tell. So first up, we're gonna do we're gonna do something a little different this week.
Wait, what?
We're gonna do something a little different this week.
Alright.
We have Trinket, Bluefruit, and CC3000, and we recently did 3 videos about them. And these are all recent new products. And they have some scenes from in the Adafruit factory. It has you talking about them. So we wanted to show the first one, and the second one and the third one. They're very short, they're very fast, they're very beautiful.
But very lovable.
Yeah, so the first one is for Trinket, and here it is.
Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada, here at my desk here at the Adafruit factory in downtown Manhattan. And I'm going to be talking about another new exciting product. Today it's Trinket. Trinket is a little mini microcontroller project. It's small, low cost, low power, so you can keep it in every project you make. Trinket's pretty small, but good things come in small sizes. Up here we have the mini USB jack. This is a way to power the Trinket as well as to upload new programs via the Arduino IDE or AVR Dude. We also have 2 LEDs, a power LED and an indicator LED on the other side. In the center is a voltage regulator. On the 3-volt Trinket, it's a 3.3 volt. On the 5-volt Trinket, it's a 5-volt regulator. And then over here is the heart of the Trinket, an ATtiny 85 microcontroller. This microcontroller has 8K of flash, half a K of RAM, and can run at 16 or 8 megahertz. It's pretty small, but it's also pretty powerful. At the very bottom, we have the reset button. You can press it when it's time to upload new programs. Programming the Trinket is really easy. Just connect any mini USB cable. You'll see the red LED pulsing. That means it's time to program. Trinket is breadboard friendly. You can plug it into any solderless breadboard. Trinket's really small, so you can put in any sort of little project, like these NeoPixel goggles. Trinket's a great little robotics controller as well. Here you can see it controlling 2 servos with an analog input. We've got a lot of fun and exciting projects you can do with Trinket on the Adafruit Learning System. From an ultrasonic distance sensor to a USB keyboard or a tap tempo gadget. Lots of great ideas on learn.adafruit.com. Trinket is designed, manufactured, tested, and shipped out of the Adafruit warehouse here in downtown Manhattan, New York City. If you think Trinket would be a good addition to one of your projects, please check it out at the Adafruit store.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's the first video, and as you're noticing, we're trying to film more of our factory here, more of how we do things, and we're so excited and we're so proud of everyone who works at the company, and they really want to show what they do too. So that's you'll see that in more of the videos. The next one is Bluefruit, our first FCC and CE certified product. This is really cool.
Yes,
and Bluefruit,
we have the certificates.
Yeah, and Bluefruit is Bluefruit made for makers. So
Bluetooth made for makers.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
it's
confusing.
Yeah, so it's Bluetooth made for makers. So we also have a box of Bluetooth that didn't work, too expensive, no code.
My Bluetooth box is really big.
Yeah.
It's twice as big as the Wi-Fi box.
So here is Bluefruit.
Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada, engineer, here at the Adafruit factory, and I'm going to be talking about another exciting project from my desk. This is the Bluefruit. It's the easiest way to add Bluetooth keyboard to any of your projects. It's so easy, you don't even need a microcontroller. The Bluefruit EasyKey HID is the first Bluetooth accessory by Adafruit. We designed this specifically for makers who want to make an HID keyboard and make it wireless as well. It's really easy to use. There's 12 buttons on the bottom here. When each pin is connected to ground, a key is pressed. That's it. You just pair it to any device you want. It works with Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS. Anything that can use a Bluetooth keyboard can use the EasyKey HID. Bluefruit's really easy to use on a solderless breadboard. That's how I have it hooked up here with a bunch of buttons, one connected to each pin. When I press the button, the keyboard is sending a key. It's also battery powered. Once you finish prototyping, you can make a really fun project like this wireless MIDI or arcade controller. It even works great with iOS or Android tablets and phones. Usually it's really hard to get Bluetooth projects going because there's not a lot of good tutorials or examples. That's why we built an excellent tutorial on the Adafruit learning system for using Bluefruit. It has wiring diagrams, code examples, everything you need to get started super fast. So search for Bluefruit at learn.adafruit.com. Each Adafruit Bluetooth Bluefruit module is designed, manufactured, tested, and shipped out of the Adafruit factory here in downtown Manhattan, New York City. So if you want to play wireless Nintendo, check out Bluefruit. It's awesome and it's available in the Adafruit store.
Okay, and for the folks who asked about Bluefruit, can it be used as a mouse? The answer is yes. Working on it.
the version coming out next week has an update, which is unfortunately not backwards.
Yeah.
Updatable.
We'll have.
But which should have mouse support.
Yeah, we'll have an update on this product soon.
We didn't
Okay.
think that people wanted it. Turns out you guys wanted it.
And so the last one that we're going to show is our Internet of Things line. And this is the Adafruit CC3000, which we talked about today.
Everyone loves.
Yeah. Nimbus is our little mascot. He's the Internet of Things, or it's the Internet of Things cloud entity.
Clouds don't have gender.
Yeah. And here is the CC3000.
Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada, here with another fantastic new product. Today I'm going to be talking about the CC3000. This is the easiest way to add Wi-Fi to your project. The Adafruit CC3000 Wi-Fi comes in two flavors. The first flavor is Breakout Board. It's a small version of the CC3000 Breakout with an antenna, the module itself, power supply, and level shifting circuitry. So you can use it with a 3-volt or 5-volt microcontroller. We also have the CC3000 Wi-Fi in Shield flavor. This is specifically for use with Arduino microcontrollers such as an Uno or Mega. In this case, we still have the CC3000 module and antenna, but we also have a microSD socket and a prototyping area. This makes it much better for microcontroller projects that use an Arduino as the core. Getting started with the CC3000 on Arduino is so easy because we wrote an entire library and example code. For advanced users, we even have a version with a UFL connector so you can attach your own antenna. The CC3000 module from TI is a great wireless solution for your microcontrollers. It's fairly low power. It uses SPI, not UART, for communication. It can do TCP and UDP, client and server. It's also easy to configure the SSID and password using a smartphone such as iOS or Android. Making your own Internet of Things project has always been really hard, but with the CC3000 from Adafruit, it's really easy. We've got a lot of great tutorials at the Adafruit learning system, like how to send tweets from your Arduino or making your own home weather station. Check it out by searching for CC3000 on learn.adafruit.com. Each CC3000 Breakout and Wi-Fi shield is designed, manufactured, tested, and shipped out of the Adafruit warehouse here in downtown Manhattan, New York City. So if you want to add Wi-Fi internet to your project either with the Shield or the Breakout, check them out at the Adafruit store.
Okay.
Okay.
And those are our videos, and we'll have more soon, and we're going to be showing more and more of Adafruit.
I like them because it's kind of like it's a little bit more detailed than what I can get to in the new products. Because I'm just like, oh, showing. And it's a little bit faster and more fun than the tutorials, which have like tons of details, but like sometimes you're like, whoa, I don't need every single specification. I just want the overall idea of what this item is, especially as we're getting into the more complicated stuff.
Those are by Andrew Baker. Okay.
Nice work, Andrew Baker.
Next up, let's get to the products
You worked
here.
that out.
So we have a couple of these cards, Lady Ada. What are these cards?
Well, these are some, this one is a microSD SD card, and we stock these in the store, but this particular one is the RaspBMC update card. So this 4 gigabyte card has been preloaded with the RaspBMC, which is an XBMC media center computer software that's specifically for specifically for hiccups, specifically for Raspberry Pi. And
if you want to make a media center with a Raspberry Pi, get one of these.
Just get this. You can make your own, and you should. But some people want like a card that they know is ready to go. They don't have to like image a file or drag whatever. They they don't want to use the burner. In which case you can definitely just use this and it works really well.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of, and our code, by the way, this is Ket. This was a product that we really like. We've known about this for years. We've always thought we're like, one day we're gonna stock this. So can you hand me the?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we have this. It's been Toy of the Year. This is a really cool laser game. This is excellent for kids. And
It says Mensa Select on it, but don't hold that against it. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what you do is the red player moves around, and what you want to do is bounce the laser off, and eventually, when you hit the one of the other players, you win. So that's pretty much it. So we have these. This is a favorite, and for kids, it's great.
I just think it's cool because it's got lasers in it.
Yeah, it's a laser game, and so
I've always wanted to try this game. So I was like, this is a cool game. I remember checking this out. Well, when did this come out?
Yeah.
Because I think it was around when I was it was not as a kid, but I was younger.
I want to say 2001. I mean, it's been out for a while.
It's been out for a while. But anyways, I thought it was a cool, because people are asking us hey, I want to, my kids don't always want to learn Python all day. We also want to play board games. What are some games that are kind of engineering?
Yeah.
And so we have the Goldilocks.
Goldie Blocks.
Goldie Blocks game.
We have the card game, or the cards for people who do electronics.
Well, that's not really a game. I
mean,
mean,
it is. You could play Go Fish. You could play Go Fish.
You could play. Do you have a common base emitter? No, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. I guess you could play games with it.
No, go read Horizon Hill. Yeah. Okay.
We'll
right.
have to invent that game.
Okay. Next up, we have a new book, Programming Arduino: Next Steps: Going Further with Sketches, by Simon Monk, who works with us on the Adafruit Learning System.
He writes awesome tutorials, and he has a new book out. So
to the overhead.
We're carrying it.
Show this book. Hey, look, it's a book.
This is the older overhead. So there
Yeah.
you go. Okay. Yeah, it's got all sorts of stuff. It's a little more advanced. It actually has timer diagrams, how to do low power stuff, how to manage your stack using the EEPROM. It's just a little bit more detailed.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
All right.
It's got good stuff in it.
Okay, moving right along.
Keyboard and mouse.
These two products are similar, so I'm just going to go through them at the same time, basically.
Okay.
These are NeoPixels that you break apart yourself.
It is so much fun. A lot of people are buying, they'll buy a couple hundred NeoPixels, and we totally don't have a problem if you want to buy 400 NeoPixels, and we break them apart and put them in a little baggie. But if we have to spend that time to do it, and for some people they would rather just get a sheet, and this is how it comes out of the pick and place.
Yeah.
You get a 4x5 here or a 5x5 here. They're all perfectly working and tested. We just don't break them apart for you. And so you can save 25% basically, because it's hey, if we can toss this in a bag, it's much easier for us.
So this was actually by working with our customers.
Yeah.
They said, could I get a discount if you just give it to me as sheets? And we're like, that's a great idea. Let's just do that.
Yeah, so we have them in the store. So instead of $2 per pixel, it's $1.75.
Yeah,
so
it's a deal.
And the discounts get even better. So check it out. You get 25 if you are getting the breadboard friendly one, and you get 20 of the Flora NeoPixel ones. And they work great. And you just snap them out. They just pop right out. There's kind of no way to not be able to do it. You don't have to do anything special like cutting or shearing. Okay. And the PCBs are extra thin too. So,
all right.
Yeah. I don't want to break this apart because it's
no.
It's all nice
and
perfect.
And last but not least, in fact, this is kind of the grand finale. There's a couple, two products, but they're very related. This is the IR key. This is a really, really cool product. You've been working on this for a while. This is really neat.
I've been on a bit of a love affair with the AT-Tiny 85, which we've been using in the Trinket and the Gemma. And we got it working with the USB keyboard. People have been using the AT-Tiny 85 little microcontroller to do little keyboards and little mouse stuff. And I was like, well, you only have 2 pins left because of the USB. There's just not a lot of pins on this 8-pin chip. But we were actually thinking about having a XBMC pack, the Media Center controller for Raspberry Pi, and I was like, well, you need to have some way to get a remote, and you can with the GPIO. You can connect a TSOP remote, and that actually does work really well. But I was thinking maybe for more general purposes too. This is a really easy way to, if you want to send data to a computer wirelessly, a remote works really well, and you can reprogram this however you wish. By default, it uses our remote, which I'll show in the overhead, which has 21 buttons, and it does like up arrow, down arrow, return, the numbers 0 through 9, space, escape, backspace, minus, plus, some basic ASCII keys. It can also do multimedia keys. If there's a little button that you can see kind of there right in the middle. If you press that button while it's plugged in for just a second, it will switch to multimedia mode. And multimedia mode is very similar, except instead of like up arrow or down arrow, it sends volume up multimedia and volume down multimedia. Multimedia keys are weird. Like, if you have an older keyboard, you don't have these keys, but newer keyboards, you have like a volume down and volume up button. And you don't have to have like the control panel open for them to work. It sends a special command to the operating system.
Yeah.
And Macs and Windows and even Linux, I believe, respond to these keys. So for example, you can have iTunes in the background, and then you can use this to change the volume or even go next track, previous track, play, pause. Even though iTunes is in the background, or you're watching a movie and it's like not doesn't have keyboard focus. Mm-hmm. So I learned all about multimedia keys. This is kind of a general purpose IRT keyboard adapter. It only works with our remote right now. If you want to get into the firmware, you can reprogram it to support other remotes, but every remote has different key codes. And in order to keep everything fitting into 8K, we kind of just made it like works with this guy real well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's open source firmwares on GitHub, so you want to customize what keys are sent. It's like super easy. Just open up the header file and just change the key code from up arrow to shift or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's. I just want to show it on the overhead real fast as well.
Let's do that.
Hello. Let's
You want to?
focus.
Yeah, you want to.
Yeah, I gotta kind of get it to. Oh, come on.
We're blurry.
Oh.
Why are we so blurry?
Stop
You
being
can just-
so
you can
blurry.
just put your
Okay,
hand
there you go.
There
You
you go.
know what? Sometimes the hand works and sometimes doesn't. So yeah, I have it plugged in now, and even though it's plugged into this power pack, I can demo it. So yeah, there's up arrow, down, left, right, backspace, volume minus sends a minus key, play pause sends a space key, plus volume plus sends an equal sign key. And setup is like return or space. I don't remember exactly, and stop is X. You can look at the product page for exactly what key codes are sent, but it just blinks whenever you send a key code. And it works from like 30 feet away, it's like a normal IR remote. And the key codes that I picked are perfect for using with, like I said, Media Center, XMBC, or RASP MBC, or BMC. I always get them backwards.
Yeah.
XBMC, RASP BMC. So I designed it for that, but you can use it for any kind of automation project you want.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last product, which goes along with this, is the pack.
Yeah, I don't have this on the overhead. I'll just talk about the pack. The pack comes with, like that. Once we had the IR key, I was like, cool, we can have like a ready-to-go, all-in-one RASP BMC pack that you basically just plug and play. You don't have to do like any installation or anything. 'Cause a lot of people were asking, like, I want to make a media center, and this is my first project, and I just kind of want everything ready to go. So you get a Raspberry Pi Model B, which is what you need because it has an Ethernet port, Ethernet cable. You shouldn't do BMC over Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is not great for streaming video. You really want to use Ethernet, so you get Ethernet cable, HDMI cable, which is great. Just plug it. We have this set up at home. We just plugged it into our TV, and it just works really great.
Yep.
And you can do all sorts of customization, through the remote control as well. Like if you want to set your time zone and like what apps you want running, you can do almost everything with the remote, which is kind of cool. They designed it specifically for, like, you only need like arrow key, return, and escape to pretty much do everything. You get the IR key and the remote control, which works really great. The pre-flashed card, which we talked about, a micro USB cable, and a power adapter so that it's powered. XBMC does take a lot of power. You want to make sure you have a good power supply.
Yeah.
Between the Ethernet and the HDMI video and like streaming video, which is streaming video off YouTube, it does take a bit of power. And your nice little happy case, which you can put it all into.
Okay.
So it is ready to go. And it's it's a discount. Instead of buying each part individually, you get like 5 or 10% off by getting
Okay.
it as a pack.
And those are the new products.
Yay!
Okay, getting back to business here. Any of those things that you saw that we haven't stocked, code is 10% off in the Adafruit store. One quick question that came up, someone wanted to know, would you ever consider having it so you can light up all these on the PCB before breaking them off?
We didn't do that because to make it so you can snap them apart, there's these drill holes. It's called mouse bites, and even though we could do it, we're like, well, the tester we do test them separately. We didn't want to have any extraneous traces, and we didn't want to worry about what we want to be able to test it without having the risk of sometimes one LED will go bad, and so our tester can manage that and will tell you which one goes bad. But it would you wouldn't be able to use it as a sheet. So yeah, you have to kind of pop them out. You can use jumper wires if you want, but no, they're really meant to be popped out and used individually.
Okay, it's now.
We have an LED matrix in the store though, if you just want LED matrix.
It's now time for your questions.
You got questions. I've got a mug with an Adafruit logo on it.
That's right. So I have the little laptop here with the IRC chat. So
Look
go
at
ahead.
you. It's been 20 years and you're still on IRC.
Yeah. I used to hang out in Pound Hacks.
Does anyone try to XDCC you anything?
No, they don't do that anymore. So people don't.
XDCC was what we used before Bitcoin.
Oh, does the remote work with the SDR?
The RTL SDRs that we sell in the store actually come with a remote. I think it's not exactly the same remote. I don't know. It's a similar remote, but it's not the same. But the SDRs modules in the store do come with a remote. We don't show it because it might change from model to model, and also it's meant for use with the TV app.
Okay.
Which nobody uses.
And someone wanted to know, do we have a monitor behind the camera because you're looking directly at the camera now?
Yes.
The answer is yes, and it's the HDMI monitor in our store.
It's handy. We're still kind of working on tweaking it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tall, so I'm kind of looking.
Okay, next
above
up.
you.
Someone says, oh my God, I bought 60 WS2812s thinking they were fairly easy to solder, and they were cheaper. Now you guys released a PCB cheats version, so yeah, it's hard to solder those. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big, but they're kind of surprisingly delicate, which actually when Bunny Wang was here last time we talked about that. You can hand solder them.
Yeah.
But they're not meant for it, which means it's unfortunately not that difficult to fry them if you're not careful from overheat. They're really meant to be reflowed, and when you reflow them, you have to reflow them at a very steady temperature for best results.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
Okay, next up. Does the audio come over HDMI? No, it doesn't. The audio doesn't go out through the monitor on HDMI.
On this, if they're talking about the XBMC pack, then yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have a lot of HDMI thing going on
but
now.
the XBMC, yes, it does. There's HDMI audio.
Okay, next up. Do you have any pointers on using the Atmega 328 directly as an RTC by controlling a 32 kilohertz crystal for its pins, preferably staying in Arduino land?
Yeah, I totally have advice for you. It doesn't really work. That's what we did for the Ice Cube clock, and you can look at the Ice Cube clock for my code. It's not Arduino, but it's similar, and some people might have ported the code to Arduino ease, although you could probably just use the chunk of code. The 328 RTC is not stable. You should. It works, but people would find it would drift more than a normal RTC. Just use an RTC.
Okay, what is the difference between RF 315 megahertz and 433 megahertz and NRF 2401A?
I don't actually use those RF modules, so I don't know the details, but usually higher frequencies means less range, but faster data bandwidth.
Yeah. Next.
Bigger bandwidth, more data.
Yeah.
But not as far.
What is that old keyboard of yours that was in the video?
That's my keyboard.
No, what is that? What?
It's not old, it works great.
Okay. What type of keyboard is it?
It's a Dell Quiet-Key, which is sort of like an IBM Model M, but is cheaper.
Okay.
Not as heavy.
Can the Wi-Fi shield sign into landing pages on free sites? Could you program it to do that?
Yeah, I think you could. It won't do SSL, but I mean, if you're handy with a little bit of parsing, you could do it. You could also do it with a YUN. It might be a little bit better because it can handle more detailed management. But it can do posts and gets. It's just we don't have example code.
Have you thought about integrating the CC3000 with AVR to make a small Wi-Fi Arduino compatible or something like the Wi-Fi Trinket would be awesome? Yes, Tony. In fact, when we make one, we're probably going to send you one to beta test. The Wi-Fi
yeah, we are.
Arduino.
We actually designed one, and it didn't work out. So we're designing another
It's not
one.
out yet, don't ask. But
goes.
yeah, we're working on it, and it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be cool.
Next up,
I'm focusing on Bluetooth right now.
can we get the Adafruit mug as a new product? Probably not.
No.
We don't do swag. Next up, can you
Delicious.
can you read tweets with a C3000 and an Arduino? Is there a guide? Are you going to make one?
We have a Twitter library. It's a little bit annoying because you have to get like your authentication key. I believe it can read tweets. It can definitely send tweets. No, it can definitely read tweets because it's, you would have to, what code did we use? We have the CC3000 with the Twitter code, right? Didn't we do that? We definitely have the Twitter code for the Gutenberg, which is the Internet of Things printer kit with Ethernet, the Arduino Ethernet library. And I'm almost positive that we also made a version with Wi-Fi. But I don't remember what project we did with it.
Yeah. You might not have to search.
You might have to search
the learning system, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, I mean, we definitely have Arduino Twitter code.
Okay.
I just don't know if we have
Next
it.
up, can any Wi-Fi code
Wi-Fi.
work with the CC3000 with proper setup in the module?
Can any?
Any Wi-Fi code? No, it's really specific.
The CC3000 code is really only for the CC3000. I tried to make it as similar as possible to the Arduino Ethernet library, but it's not completely the same.
Next up, I have a GPS logger connected to Uno. Love it. I have it log raw. Name of sentences. Should I look into writing a script to convert this into Google Maps format? I want something offline to convert. So how do you get that off to get to Google Maps? I think there's converters.
There's like a bazillion NMEA to Arduino to Google Maps converters. It's called KML. If you just search for NMEA to KML converter, there's like 8 good
I made
ones.
a gross Perl one a long time ago.
You do not have to. This has totally been done.
Next up, will Adafruit collaborate with Arduino to create another model like the Micro? Yeah, we would love to do stuff with Arduino more.
Whenever they visit, we show them all sorts of things, and we're like, wouldn't you like to have this be an Arduino? And they're
Are
like,
you guys
"Ooh."
working on a cellular shield? The answer is yes.
Yeah, but slowly.
Everything out there
Very
isn't
slowly.
great, so we're working on it. It just takes us a while, but
I have
once
to
it's
get
out,
I
it's
have to
out.
get this Bluetooth. I got Wi-Fi kind of working, and I'm going to work on fixing Bluetooth, and then I'll work on fixing cellular. Trust me, the Bluetooth stuff is going to rock your socks, but I just have to get it working.
Okay,
Finished.
next up, I need to put a DS18B20 into a 8x4 40 millimeter well. Can I use the 6x40 thermo well you sell and pack it in the space with the thermal paste, or should I fasten my own probe with the DS18B20
This
in
sounds
a
like
tube
a
that
question
would fit
that's
more
best for the
snugly?
forums. This is really detailed and requires measuring stuff.
Okay.
I don't have my calipers with me,
Okay.
so post to the forums.
Next up,
It's too detailed.
are we expanding? Yes. Adafruit now has more space. We're going to be probably about 20,000 square feet-ish. We negotiated for 8 months to get even more space
More.
in our building. It is intense.
Where are we going to stock all these plushies?
Yeah. Most of all, we would like to move the bubble wrap so it's not this big white blob behind us. Next up.
Big blob.
Yeah, if I were to hook up a Wi-Fi router in an isolated room and set it up an antenna and rectifier, what would be my expected power? I guess they want to get power from it?
I don't know. Not a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Little. Small.
All right.
Small amount.
Let's see. What's the fastest way to drive the OLED SPI displays you sell with an Arduino? I'd like to get the fastest possible refresh.
I think there's hardware SPI support. If not, someone I think maybe has added it. So you could try checking that out.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of speed round. If you had to connect many trinkets to an Uno, what method would be preferred and why?
I'm not sure exactly why you would do that. So
But if you had to.
I guess you could use I2C. You'd have to write the I2C master, but then they could all share 2 pins. But I don't really think what you're doing is a good idea.
Okay.
Microcontrollers shouldn't talk to microcontrollers.
Okay.
In general.
All right, I'm just going to go through a few more. Can you say more about the new trinket you hinted? Yeah, we're going to approach trinket. It's being really cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. That's
It's too cool for school.
yeah, it's going to be neat.
Right, listen.
And then that is
Yay.
about it.
Okay, great.
Okay. Whew. All right, so we're done with questions. Good work, Lady Ada. Next up, it is the trivia question. Lady Ada, what are the rules?
Rules are if you've won a fabulous prize through the Adafruit trivia questions quiz, you don't get anything this time. You have to wait till your next lifetime. So go make a sandwich or install Gentoo or something. Okay, first person who typed the answer with correct spelling wins.
Yeah.
Prize today is an IR key and remote. You get both.
Yeah. All right, are you ready?
Very handy.
Okay. Raz BMC is developed by
And maintained.
and maintained by a 19-year-old. What is his name?
Yeah, who is this guy?
What is his name?
Who is this guy?
And the cool thing is you can just go to the
You can go to the
razbmc.com site, scroll down to the bottom, just type his
Or-
name into the chat. And
Or you can go to the Adafruit product page, which we
Yeah.
mentioned his name at the bottom.
as soon as
his
you put it into the chat and I
The
see
fellow.
it on this laptop, then you get the prize. GPS clock is not the answer. Oh, Insurgent. Congratulations. Sam Nazaro is the answer.
That's right.
So,
Isn't that nice? That's like a nice
19-year-old
person to
kid
maintain
doing
it.
this awesome project. And it's cool because people are bringing Linux into their homes.
Yeah.
Very neat. Okay, email support@adafruit.com and you get one of these. That's that easy. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Fantastic show. Great show and tell. We'll be here next week, as always, with some more new products, answering your questions, features, videos, and more. We're going to crash and go to sleep.
It's definitely time for.
Yeah, we have
Nightcap and a-
we have a new photo of
Very-
MOSFET.
Yeah, let's look at this photo.
Yeah, I took this photo with the Panasonic GH3 because that's what we're going to be using for some of our video stuff.
Yeah.
And you can even see me taking his photo in his eyeball there.
That's
There he is.
creepy.
Meow, meow, meow. So that's our show tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all the staff who shows up. Thank
Let's
you
look
all
at the photo
people-
again. That's a nice photo of the cat. It was really, it was very sunny.
Meow. And don't forget the code is KET. 10% off everything in the Adafruit store. And we'll be here next week. Thank you, everyone in the show and tell, and everyone on the staff, everyone who shows up in the chat, and everyone who helps support Adafruit and,
And
our,
develops
our open source efforts.
XBMC distros.
Here is your moment of Zener. See you next week.